Hi, my name's Liana, and I'm about to have my first Muay Thai fight at the age of 45 this weekend. It's fight week. I feel, oh my gosh, there's a lot of emotions. You actually said to me that there's going to be like this turbulence and this like roller coaster of emotions. And see, at times I get emotional about it because it's been 2 months of my life dedicated to this, which like in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't seem like that much. But when I'm taking this on at this age too, and like, I feel like I'm just getting to know myself. Like at 45, through all of this discipline, through like, you know, the tears, through the ups, the downs, and just like showing myself, my God, what I'm capable of. I'm scared to let it go because it's been such a good journey. So, oh my God, I'm so emotional right now.
You're on fight week, baby.
It's fight week, right? I want to enjoy every last bit of this because I don't know if I'm ever going to fight again. I'm making a joke that right after this fight, I'm going into retirement. So, and that actually might happen. But this has been almost like the best 2 months of my life. There's a lot of things in my favor right now, too. I'm fighting at my home gym. I've got like the support of the community. I'm fighting somebody that's, I believe she's 20 years old, right? So I'm more than half her age. But there's something that comes along with the wisdom, right? And the age and just really getting to know and knowing yourself at this age that I'm using and seeing as an advantage. It's hard because when you're training with with people that are a lot younger than you, right? And especially when you're doing like, you know, sparring sessions or whatever, I'm kind of going, ooh, I don't know if my reflexes, you know, there is something to be said about that, right? And then the recovery time, like I can't bounce back as quick as they can. So there's those times where you're like, am I as strong? But then there's days like today where I did film myself just doing some pad work, and I was like, holy shit, I've gotten faster. Like I've actually gotten faster at 45. I don't even know how that's possible, but so yeah, it's like those little moments of doubt, but then you're like, nah. There's so much more to it that you can become faster because your mind is there. You can control and regulate your emotions because you've been through so much more, you know, 25 years more experience. So yeah, there's a lot of confidence there with the age. Okay, so I started Taekwondo when I was 15. Pretty sure a classmate invited me to a class, like a free drop-in class. Mom and dad were totally cool with it. And then I fell in love with the sport. And even back then too, I was, you know, in the minority as a woman, as a girl, right? But man, I still sparred with the boys, and I still won in some tournaments, was really good at patterns, etc. But then I started to rebel in high school when I was 17. So yeah, the martial arts, the Taekwondo when I was a teenager, that only lasted for like a couple of years. Honestly, it wasn't until I came to Bali. So what, I'm 45 now, so that was like 39. Well, it's really 40, so 5 years ago that I came back into martial arts and I started doing Muay Thai. And you could totally tell I was a Taekwondo artist because I was flicking everything. And it's like I was just doing things like really quickly. So there's a lot of bad habits that I'm still having to unlearn. But super off and on, right? I was still doing CrossFit, and I was weightlifting and doing like bodybuilding stuff. But I would say it wasn't until October of last year or November of last year that I kind of got serious about it. And then I really started to get serious in January, February of this year. It's really weird because I actually wrote down, I always have a list of my goals for 2020 or for the year. And one of the goals was to take my first Muay Thai fight. So I wrote that down on December 31st of last year, and like, here we are. So yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah. What do we always say? Like anybody can look good on the pads, right? Because they're not hitting back. And I think there was a part of me that was craving that challenge of, okay, well, hit me back, right? How's my defense? And remembering too, even in Taekwondo, like the tournament. So to put everything together, and already it was a challenge, like, can my mind actually handle this? I always say too, I'm like, martial arts, but especially Muay Thai, is keeping me sharp physically and mentally. As I age, I want my mind to be sharp. Obviously, like physically too, but it's very, very important to me. So I wanted to put it all together and not just be like, okay, I can kick a pad like really hard, I can elbow something. Like, can I access everything in my mind, right? And also emotionally, and put it together in a decent way. And then, yeah, there was the opportunity to fight in a charity fight night. So, I mean, that's just cool in and of itself, right? Raising money for a good cause, for cancer research. Having a venue or like a space that it's not necessarily, like this isn't my career. It's not gonna be my career. But to put it all together I don't want to say play, but it's almost like to play, right? Yeah, you don't, like I said, you don't really get that much here. So I had to take the opportunity. I found out about the fight probably 3 weeks before any kind of matchup happened. And I remember kind of my coaches and everybody was like, oh, you want to take it? I was like, yeah, of course I want to take it. Let's try. I was just like right then and there. It was almost like I was in fight camp. And I said, I don't have a matchup yet, but I'm going to train like I do. And I'm going to train like I'm in fight camp until, the minute that they say I'm not fighting. So I was actually nervous, not for who they were going to match me up with, but can they find a matchup? Because I was so already in that mode, like I'm ready to fight. This is my chance. This is my time, right? And then I got the message and they're like, we have a matchup for you, but she is, at that time, she was 7 kilograms lighter than me and I had to lose like 5 kilograms. We're going to meet in the middle kind of thing. She has no record as well. And I was like, this is it. Like, this is like the perfect matchup. So yeah, I was nervous just because I was like, I need a matchup. And now I realize, oh my God. Now I realize what you guys go through when you're waiting for that matchup. Now and it gave me such a bigger appreciation for when I see people like, I'm just waiting for the next fight. I get it. This is the most disciplined that I've ever been. The weight cut has been really good. It's been gradual, hasn't been a shock to the system. However, it has been a pretty big drop in calories, especially when I was coming from kind of more of a bodybuilding, growing my booty kind of phase. I was like, well, I guess we're not doing that anymore. We're not eating for that anymore. Yeah, so yeah. Oh, it's gone. Like, I think the next mission after this is like Operation Get the Butt Back, right? Go to Bangkok, eat all the food, get the butt back. But no, my nutritionist, Abby, she has done such a great plan. And then Macro Kitchen, of course, my God. When you have somebody actually like making everything for you as per your macros, it's so much easier. I am so thankful for that because there were a couple of weeks there that it was really dark. It was just super fatigued. Like no brain power. I remember I was on like client calls and I don't remember what they had just said, like, because I just completely blanked out. The mental capacity is a very big thing for me. I was like, oh my God, did I get punched to the head too much already? But no, it was just because of the drop in calories, right? And then, of course, the emotions were going. So there were a couple of weeks there that was pretty dark and I felt like I wasn't losing as quickly as I wanted to, but trust the process. And as of last week, oh my God, like we are so on track. Last Friday, which I knew going into it, I knew that was going to be like the heaviest, hardest day, right? But I wasn't expecting pretty much like, I guess like a Shark Tank kind of thing. Yeah, and I remember I was pure exhaustion, got emotional again, but it was like in the 4th round. And, I remember thinking, oh my God, you thought your cardio was so good and you've increased your capacity and your stamina. And like in the midst of it, I forgot that I'm already in the 4th round, 3-minute rounds. Of course I'm gonna be like that tired, right? So in retrospect, I had to step outside and kind of go, look at what you just did. And you stood with the boys too, right? And some of these guys are like 15 kilograms, 20 kilograms heavier than me. Some of them are like pro fighters. Hey, this is great, like a great training ground. In my head, I was like, why is this not easier right now? But then it's like, no, it's not supposed to be, right? It's not supposed to be at all. So I am thankful for that. I'm thankful for all of those intense sessions. I love it that a friend said to me, he said, you know, the fact that you keep coming in here every day with a smile on your face, knowing that you're going to get punched and kicked, is like, it's just mental to me. And like, but it is so like such a respectful thing. Like, he's like, I've never seen that kind of drive in you. So it breaks you down, but it builds you up, right? I have a tendency to want to control a lot of things, right? And control my environment, stepping outside of the comfort zone, right? And kind of going, you know, not everything needs to be, and it shouldn't be, under your control. And actually, when it isn't, those are like big moments of growth, right? Big moments to learn. So embrace that. I've also realized just how determined I can be. I always knew I was determined, but like, you know, to be as disciplined as I have been. And listen, I'm usually the first one that's like, all right, do you guys want a Jaeger shot? Or something like that. But no, I'm the first one to be like, guys, I can't even go out for dinner with you guys. Can't, because this is my life. I think it's just like this drive that I kind of knew that I had, but I hadn't really accessed or tapped into yet. I'll be honest, growing up, I was a straight A student. I was on like, you know, but I didn't really have to try that hard. Like, God, that sounds really bad, but like I kind of coasted and everything turned out, right? But what I realized with this is that you can't coast. It's not gonna turn out, right? And it's just like the moment that you try and coast is a moment that you drop your hands and you're just gonna get like clocked in the face or something like that. Or, you know, you have to put in the work. So I have so much more respect for the hard work because I feel like I'm finally putting that in. God, that sounds really bad at 45. What have I been doing? Like even in business, like I do business really, really well. There's things that I do really well, but when it comes to like sports and athleticism, I used to run track, I did Taekwondo. Honestly, like I didn't go to as many practices as I should have. I think I started smoking when I was like doing Taekwondo. I could have been so much better if I had just if I had just really focused on it. And now finally at this age, I'm focusing on it and I'm kind of going, holy shit, you're pretty decent. So yeah. Okay, so with being older, it's the recovery time. It is that, you know, and it's kind of, and okay, well with the guys, it's the fact that even though they have to cut weight, that it's not a struggle for them as much. None of them are worried about their period coming the day of the fight, right? And how that is going to affect my weigh-in the day before. None of them are really worried about like what they're eating and how, especially, God, I'm mid 40s. I'm close to 50. So I am perimenopausal. There's a lot of other things going around in my body and they don't have to worry about that. And it's the same with the younger girls, right? I wish there were more females in my class, but not yet. Sometimes it's hard to hear some like, oh, you'll be fine, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, you're 20 years old. It's just not like, it's not the same. But I don't expect them to understand that or to, you know, especially, I don't think I look 45. A lot of people don't think that I do. So if I get mistaken for like, you know, like 15 years younger, that's fine. And like, you know, God bless them for thinking that and for the comments that they have. I'm having to work harder on recovery. I'm having to work harder on my weight cut. Also, I think mentally, because I'm older and because there's more of an appreciation for life and death, right? For sickness, you know, for illness, you realize the effect that will have on you, right? It's not just like, I don't have a care in the world and, you know, if I get hurt, I get hurt and I'll get over it. No. That it doesn't happen that quickly and it can affect so much more than just your physical health. And then two, it's that realization, like at this age, like what if I do hurt somebody? Because I don't want to, like I've gone 45 years without really punching somebody in the face. So now I'm gonna have to learn how to do that and like access that or tap into that kind of aggressive nature, which by 45 you kind of, it's not really prevalent, right? So there's all these things that you're having to like discover about yourself after kind of going, oh, okay, I'm 45, I know myself already. Ice baths as much as I can, massages, I'm rolling out, doing foam rolling like every night. Before that used to be like such a chore, but now it's like, I really love it. I am sleeping at least 8.5, 9 hours a night and eating really well. And like I said, no alcohol, no sweets. So like, yeah, everything's like super, super clean right now. And my mind is more clear after the hump of the weight cut. Mind is more clear. The energy is there. My emotions are more regulated, although you can't tell from the very first part of this interview. My anxiety has gone down. I used to have a lot of anxiety and panic attacks. And then even sometimes just walking from my place to the gym, it was like almost sensory overload. And no, it hasn't even been a thing since my camp. It doesn't, it sounds counterintuitive, right? Because yeah, like my nervous system, I feel like is constantly in fight or flight right now and has been for the past 2 months. But I've had to teach myself how to regulate that, especially, I have a lot of really great friends, a lot of close friends, but I don't have a partner here that can, that I can turn to and be like, okay, I'm having a moment right now, right? So I've had to depend on myself for calming myself down, for doing some like breathing techniques, and for knowing that I'm safe, right? And I am in a safe space. And although, my heart is going like this, like I've been training my heart very well for the past 2 months. It's quite strong right now, right? So to remind myself of all these things and like, the scariest moment is in the ring. Okay, we've dealt with it, right? We've been there. When it's this big, big guy, God, this is gonna sound really, really cocky, but because I've experienced those guys, when I see her, my opponent, I don't think it's gonna feel as scary, right? I've taught myself to get past that. It's gonna be nerve-wracking, but I don't think it's gonna be like complete like frozen fighter. Like I'm gonna fight. I know I will. So yeah, I want to have a good fight. I want to show like myself and people, what I can do, and have like have some time to just like put it all together. Like I said, I am scared to drop my hands because I tend to do that when I'm tired. I hear a lot of people say, oh, there's some people that are like, I completely froze and I didn't remember any of my combos. And it's like for me, I'm just trying to keep it tight and like, 3 things max, right? Just like nice and simple. It's our first fight. It's not gonna be like, 1 championship. And I'm not gonna be doing all these fancy things. I wanna defend myself well. I wanna be the aggressor. And I just wanna respect each other. You know what I mean? I wanna fight with dignity and with grace and kind of, I want to put on a show, right? and yeah, like I'm a little terrified that she's gonna come out and like, I don't know, throw some wild something and then I'm just gonna get knocked out. That's the ultimate fear, right? But then hopefully the adrenaline kicks in and I won't feel it.
Is there any way that you think like, oh, maybe I would do this
again?
Yeah.
I don't even want to say if I win, but come on. When I win, I'm gonna say when I win. When I win, that must be like so addicting, that feeling. I don't even, oh my God. Like I remember I'd win in like Taekwondo matches. That's different, but like that would be addicting. I think that like I said, there's also a high of this fight camp and of putting yourself. I like training with purpose, right? Even when I did CrossFit or weightlifting, I always wanted to do some kind of competition. The difference with those is that I would do these competitions knowing in my gut that like I'm doing them to participate in them. I wasn't ever like the front runner. I wasn't ever gonna be the winner. You know, I was lucky if I even podiumed, and that was like very rare. But I participated. Here with this, I feel like I'm gonna win. Like I have all the confidence in the world, whether or not that's a good thing or not. And that alone is like super addicting and something that like I would want to recreate again, right? And so whatever happens on Saturday, man, like if we keep having these kinds of events where it's raising money, right, for a good cause, and it's bringing together like the gyms and ballet, and like also too, man, having people say like you've inspired me to actually, you know, to take up martial arts, take up boxing, to, you know, that's super cool too, right? So I say I'm gonna retire. Can I ever not be in the gym? No, because I still kind of want to be this like this motivator and this role model there, and to try and get more people in. So, and then just by default, because you're there and there's, you know, more fight nights coming up, maybe. Well, with our gym in particular, we were never really going to have like a martial arts center. And I think it's taken a lot of people by surprise. It's more of a beginner center, right? And it's, I think, making martial arts a little bit more accessible to some people that might not have ever tried it, right? Or might have been maybe intimidated by the actual martial arts MMA gyms. So when I see people that, you know, pretty much are diehard CrossFit fanatics or weightlifters, and they're in boxing or like kicking, I'm like, this is amazing. This is so good that you're trying this out, right? So yeah, if, like I said, if I could help elevate that and bring more people in just to even at least try it, gosh, I would say most of the people that I have brought in are now consistently training. There is nothing more empowering than knowing how to defend yourself, knowing how to be the aggressor if you need to be. But also, it's an art. It really is this art. When you can appreciate it as that, and you're moving your body as that, and you're realizing, and you're appreciating like how to move your body in time and space, right? And to have this body awareness, I think it is like it's the biggest confidence booster, right? And I would also say to any woman, especially if you have kids, that's the biggest, like the best role model that you could be. So please, please try it out. And if you can get your kids into it too, please do that. Yeah. I'm super thankful for this opportunity to tell my story and to get emotional about it. But, you know, I want to be involved in this community and building, you know, not just this brand, but this army of women, you know. Yeah, strong women. So yeah, I'm really grateful to be part of it.